Built into the very fabric and dichotomy of life is this paradox. On the one hand, we are part of the collective. We are a number, part of millions of others, of our own people and of civilians of the world, but even our own people, millions and millions of people. We are an indistinct, on some level, part of the klal. But on the other hand, we are absolutely unique. Each human being and each Jew, absolutely unique in every possible way. Absolute personal uniqueness and part of the klal. How do we negotiate this dichotomy? And indeed, there's a remarkable Gemara, Masechet Rosh Hashanah. It's Rosh Chodesh Elul, a month before now, preparing for Rosh Hashanah. It's amazing that it's only a month away. And Rav Dessler in his Sichot points out in Michtav Miliyahu, he says there's two ways that God looks at us. It's in Chodesh Elul, as we approach Rosh Hashanah, as we say the one is Kivnei Maron. We're going to stand before God, Kivnei Maron, as individuals, examining every single one of us. But he says we also, the Gemara says, Niskar b'skira klalit. God looks at us as part of a general viewing of the whole collective and what's going on. We're part of the collective, we're individuals. This, says the Slonim Rebbe, the great author of the Netivot Shalom, this impactful book on Parashat Shavua, Noach Shalom Barzovsky, on Parashat Re'eh, always read around Rosh Chodesh Elul, an amazing idea. He says, what is this unique blessing and curse? The Parasha begins, Re'eh Anochi Noten Lifnechem Hayom. See, I'm giving you today, Bracha U'Klala, the blessing and the curse. Says the Slonim Rebbe, but we already received the blessing and the curse. In Parashat Bechokotai, the Tochacha, the rebuke, it clearly says if we follow the mitzvot, there'll be blessing. If we don't, there'll be curse. We already know of the blessing and the curse. What is this repetition of this unique idea? Portray this blessing and the curse. He says exactly the point we spoke about. He says the previous blessing and curse was part of the collective, objectively. Every Jew and Jewess has to follow the mitzvot. There's no difference between each and every one of us. We are obligated to be obedient, to accept upon ourselves, Bezrat Hashem, to all the Torah and mitzvot. They apply to each one of us equally, and we need to accept them upon ourselves. And if we don't, as a collective, and as individuals part of a collective, then unfortunately different things befall, as it says in the blessing and the curse. That, though, he says, is as an indistinguished person, indistinguishable from the rest. But he says in this week's Parasha, the blessing and the curse is the uniqueness of finding your unique voice within Torah mitzvot. Rabbi Shlomo Wolbe, the great mechanech and ethicist of the Musar movement, used to say that sometimes he would see people all following the same Torah and mitzvot, davening in the same way, learning in the same way, looking in the same way. You look at all these people following the Torah and mitzvot, they all look exactly the same. They look like they think the same, they dress the same, and they do the same. He said, yes, that's the first part of the Torah, being obedient to the klal. But we also have to find our unique voice. We cannot be snuffed out, our uniqueness. We have to find that voice, our way of serving Hashem, and our way of finding our uniqueness to make the difference in the world that only we can make based on our passions, our strengths, and our abilities. And finally, I want to say it's so too with the collective. And that says Rav Barzovsky is what it means, the Brachan Klal Parashat Re'eh. It's that unique blessing that you find from finding your voice within the objective truth. And I want to say so too with Israel. We are a nation amongst all other nations. Yes, we're one of the indistinguishable nations on the map, over 200 nations. Yes, we have an army and we have borders and we have an economy and we just like a government like any other nation. But of course, we have a kol pnimi, we're a light unto the nations. Never to forget that, yes, you might be part of a collective, but at the same time, we have a unique voice as individuals, as a Jewish people with our individual voice, and each and every one of us, where we find that voice as part of our overall commitments and live out our own national and individual destinies to bring the beauty and the sweetness of the blessings of Parashat Re'eh as we begin to prepare for Elul and Rosh Hashanah. Shabbat Shalom.